Well, welcome back. Giles Malone here with Space Coast Daily, here with the two experts locally on Brevard County sports, Steve Wilson and Orville Susong of the Friday Night Locker Room, our partners here bringing you high school sports here throughout the year on Space Coast Daily. First of all, gentlemen, we would like to congratulate both the Cocoa and the Heritage squads, football squads, for an excellent season. They really did us proud here on the Space Coast, taking us deep into the playoffs. Steve, do you have any special message for those two schools?
You know, Coach John Wilkinson of the Cocoa Tigers and Mark Ainsley, head coach of Heritage Panthers, gave the teams from Miami fits. You know, it's not the outcome either one of them wanted, but congratulations to both teams. They're going to be back next year and be back strong.
Orville, anything to add?
Well, you know, you have to say just about the same thing Steve did. Cocoa Tigers and Booker T. Washington, 4 years in a row, Booker T. has put Cocoa out of the state playoff hunt. But, you know, they've got a lot of guys coming back next year. Heritage, Mark Ainsley, first year at Heritage. I think he did an excellent job down there moving up from Holy Trinity. He was able to take a bigger, stronger, faster squad and get it to the same place it was last year. So I think you have to tip your hat to Mark Ainsley for doing such a wonderful job in his first year. The Cocoa Tigers, again, you know, you can't say enough about the program that John Wilkinson and his staff has over at Cocoa High. Congratulations to both of them. Believe me, both will be back next year.
Very good. We're very proud of both schools and all the schools who did so well in the playoffs this year. Now we're moving on, though, to girls basketball, and we're going to discuss each district, and then we're going to discuss the top five of the two experts here of the whole county at the end. So first of all, girls basketball District 2.
Taking a look at Class 2A District 11, 5 teams: Brevard Heat, Covenant Christian, Masters Academy out of Vero Beach, Merritt Island Christian, and Morningside out of Port St. Lucie. Masters was the district winner last year, Covenant the runner-up. I like the Brevard Heat early in the season. They defeated Morningside, who's a district opponent earlier, and beat an Edgewood team that's down a little bit, very impressive. Masters is still probably the team to beat as the returning district champion. We'll know more next week. There are 3 key district contests this week in that district. You have the Heat play Covenant Christian, Morningside will be at Masters, and Merritt Island Christian will be at Morningside. So a lot of questions will be answered by the play of this week.
Well, how does the 3A shape up?
3A District 13 has Benjamin out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida Air, John Carroll, and MCC. You have to look for MCC and Florida Air to be the two teams in that district to fight out for the number 1 and 2 spots there. Benjamin lost to Florida Air already this year 2 weeks ago by 18 points. Florida Air defeated MCC 2 weeks ago by 20, and MCC defeated Palm Bay 43-37. Jones, Bircher, and Bannister all in double figures for MCC.
And how does the 4A shape up?
Class 4A District 8 teams are Astronaut Cocoa, Cocoa Beach, Holy Trinity, Space Coast, and West Shore. At this point, it's pretty much a 2-team race between the Astronaut War Eagles and the Cocoa Tigers. Not that the other 4 teams don't have a chance, or the 3 teams rather, but those are the class teams in that district. Big game played last week. Cocoa did defeat Astronaut, which kind of gives them a leg up in the seedings. Price from Cocoa continues to almost score at will. Had 49 points in 2 games for the Tigers. Coach Pat Gaines-Jackson, very pleased with the play of the youngster, actually a senior, Price. But Coach Greg Hostetler out of Astronaut, he's one of the best coaches around, period, Space Coast Hall of Fame coach. But early on, I like the Tigers by a hair over the War Eagles.
Very good. The 5A, Orville.
5A consists of Merritt Island, actually 2 different districts, 14 and 15. District 14, Merritt Island Mustangs, the Rockledge Raiders, Satellite Scorpions, and the Titusville Terriers. Last year, Titusville and Rockledge fought it out for the number 1 and 2 spot. Merritt Island down last year. I see them struggling again early this year. They lost to Melbourne 50-33. Taylor Martin putting in 16 points in that win, and they also lost to West Shore 33-24. So Merritt Island's going to have to build as the season goes and gets better throughout the year. Rockledge, they defeated Holy Trinity 76-36. Stanley with 17 points, 4 players in double figures for Rockledge that night. Satellite lost to Cocoa Beach. Hartgrave with 24 points in that game for Satellite. Titusville They defeated Heritage 55-44. I like Bobby Wynn and the Titusville Terriers to fight Rockledge for that number 1 spot in that district. In District 15 now, we have the Bayside Bears, the Palm Bay Pirates, and Suncoast out of Riviera Beach. Last year, Riviera Beach was the one that won that one. Palm Bay and Bayside. Bayside came in second. Palm Bay came in third in that district. Bayside lost to Space Coast 48-37, which tells me maybe Bayside's down a little bit. Space Coast is building their program. Nick Stewart doing a nice job up there to get that program going. Palm Bay, they defeated O'Galley 69-34. Mills with 14 points in that one, and they lost to MCC, and Mills with 13 in that one. So Mills is going to be the hot gun for Palm Bay in District 15.
Wow, quite a lot of analysis there on that one, Orville. How does the number 6 look up for you?
Class 6A, District 7 consists of East River out of Orlando, the O'Galley Commodores, Edgewater from Orlando, and Heritage. It's going to be an Edgewater district. They're going to win the district, and nobody's going to come close to beating them. They're that good. They're undefeated. They're 7-0. They won the Dr. Phillips Classic last week, the Thanksgiving tournament. They've already played and defeated O'Galley and Heritage by rather large scores. East River's down. They're going to what they want to do at this point. Those other 3 teams don't want to be the number 4 seed and have to play Edgewater in the first round. Now, there's a lot of basketball to be played, but Edgewater's going to win the district, so you're going to have O'Galley, Heritage, and East River duking it out for the 2nd and 3rd seed. I think with the way Streeter's playing for O'Galley, they have a chance, but it's going to be an Edgewater district.
Okay, and the big boys, big girls, I should say, it's 7A.
The girls' Class 7A, District 12, Martin County and Melbourne in the south, Sebastian River in the south, Viera in the central part of the county for that district. Last year, Viera went 22-4. They won the district. Martin County was 17-6 record. They came in number 2. Melbourne and Sebastian fought out for the number 3 and 4 spot. Not a very strong team on either side last year for Melbourne and Sebastian River. This year, though, Melbourne's coming on. They beat Merritt Island 50-33. Ashley Spivey with 14 points in that ball game. Viera 22-4 last year. Like I said, you look for them to be fairly strong this year, but they lost to Greg Hostetler and the Astronaut War Eagles 53-43. Lodato with 12 points in that game. Viera beat Melbourne 47-35. The big gun for Viera, Jesse Wojciechowski, with 15 points in that ball game.
Well, that's the outlook on the girls basketball, all districts, and now with the 2 experts now going to give us their top 5 rankings all across all districts. So we're going to see who the very best of the best are here in Brevard County, starting with Steve. What's your prediction this week?
Checking in at number 5, I'm going with the MCC Hustlers. Coach Candy Terry always does an outstanding job at MCC, and I like her squad early, sitting at number 5. Number 4, the Hawks from Viera. Coach Risberg's girls are going to win, and they're going to win a lot of games. They did lose to Astronaut last week, like Orville mentioned, but they are a top 5 team, sitting at number 4. I like the Rockledge Raiders at number 3. Speed, they're going to press you from the time the whistle blows until it ends. It's just an incredibly talented defensive squad. Checking in at number 2, the Falcons from Florida Air Academy. I think they're a big 20-point win against MCC. Got a lot of attention around the county. I like the Falcons at number 2. Top-ranked team for me, number 1, the Cocoa Tigers. 7-0. One of the most talented seniors in Price in the county. They're going to be awful hard to beat this year. They're not going to go undefeated. Somebody will beat them, but they're very, very good. They're sitting at number 1 for me.
There it is. Okay, Orville, how does it shape up for you?
Mine's a little bit different. You know, Steve rated one of the teams after one big win in 3-week period. I don't think you can really do that and be optimistic about the outcome at the end of the year. But we're only talking week to week. But in my number 5, I like Bobby Wynn and the Titusville Terriers. I think they're going to be really good this year. They won the district last year. I look for them to do well again this year. In the number 4 spot, I have Jamie Reisberg and the Viera Hawks, 22-4 last year. Like Steve said earlier, they're going to win some ball games this year and win some big ones. And I like the Viera Hawks. Greg Hostetler and the Astronaut War Eagles. Anytime Coach Hostetler's on the court, you have an opportunity to win. He's that good. And so I think that, and the girls love playing for him. So I like the Astronaut War Eagles at number 3. At number 2, I've got the Rockledge Raiders. I think that they're 7-0 right now in the girls' play. They're doing an excellent job. Number 1, same as football, I've got the Cocoa Tigers at number 1 right now.
Well, there it is. The Swamis have spoken. We'll see how this shapes up next week. We would like to thank our sponsors of the Friday Night Locker Room who really make this possible for these gentlemen to go out and do this great work they do for the kids of Brevard County. I'd like to thank Mike Urban, Nissan Cadillac, of course, the title sponsor, Alan Wester, State Farm Insurance, the Beefo Brady's out on 524 in Cocoa, Jim Knudsen and the Knudsen Brain Spine Injury Law Firm, Planet Fitness of Rockledge, Florida Master Temp, they're great AC and heat people, Space Coast Tire, Berry Signs, Custom Print Screen Printing, and Goodson Paving. Without those folks, these gentlemen couldn't do the great work they do with the Friday Night Locker Room. Well, there it is, folks, the outlook for this week. Your top fives from the Swamis. We'll see how it turns out. Next up, boys basketball.